on this computer. Recording. Hi, everybody. Welcome to That Don't Romance Me Much. I'm Jane.
And I'm Amy.
And today we're going to be talking about Nice Girls Don't Have Fangs by Molly Harper, the first in the Jane Jameson series, also known as the Half Moon Hollow series, I think.
No, I think Half Moon Hollow is a separate series based on Half Moon Hollow, the town that Jane lives in.
Okay, but so Jane's not in any of those books.
I don't know. She's not the main character of them. I assume she's in them.
Okay, so this is a separate series, the Jane Jameson series.
Yeah.
So special place in our heart because of the name of the character, obviously.
I feel like that's the main reason that we read.
I would not say that's the main reason we read this, but that's fine. Amy, do you want to give a synopsis of the book?
Yes. So it is, so it follows Jane, obviously, unsurprisingly, and she gets so vampires have kind of like come out very, very similarly to how they do in the Siggy Stackhouse series, almost definitely like a complete ripoff of how it happens in the Siggy Stackhouse series. And so she like meets this guy at a bar, and she lives in like a little town. It's called Half Moon Hollow, and she meets this guy at a bar, and they like, I guess, kind of flirt or something, and then he like follows her home, but her car breaks down. Also, maybe she's driving drunk, which I found very concerning. And
okay, I think that she does say that she like sobers up with some coffee. She like switches to coffee at some point. Yeah. I've personally never tried to sober up with coffee, so I don't know that if that's a true thing that you can actually do. But they say it in movies.
But at least great that they were trying to do that. And here's LP.
Oh hi, LP. Oh hi.
Say hi. No. So anyway, right, so then she like her car breaks down while she's driving and she has to walk, and then somebody thinks she's a deer and shoots her and she will die, except that the guy that she was talking to at the bar turns out to be a vampire and turns her into a vampire. So now she's a vampire.
No, asks if she wants to be a vampire, and in her like dying breath says she does.
Sure.
So it's not like against her will that she gets turned into a vampire.
It is not against her will, but also I don't know how much if you're like actively dying.
Yeah, fair. It was not like a Diane Duvall situation where they all like very much consent to becoming immortal.
Right. But at least she tried. And so Jane is now a vampire. She has a best friend named Zeb, who she's like been friends with, it sounds like, basically forever. And then she has her family, and her like she's close to her dad. She has a like sister that she doesn't like at all. And then her mom is like the worst, I thought, and they like really
the sister is definitely worse than the mom.
Right. The sister really sucks, which we find out at the end, because she's basically not in it until then.
Yeah.
Being annoying, but yeah, and then the mom just is really always on Jane, and she just like, it seems like she would never be happy no matter what Jane does, basically. Yeah, so I mean, there's not like so much plot.
You forgot about the whole mystery. That's like the whole plot of the book.
But then somebody is like trying to like frame Jane to make her look bad, or maybe to kill her, or both. And she's trying to solve this mystery while adjusting to life as a vampire.
And hiding. She also hides the fact that she's a vampire from her family.
Yes, that's all her best friend.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we already know. What did you think of this plot?
I thought it was not really that much of a plot. I thought it was very light on the mystery.
Yeah, it was not a very compelling mystery, I would say. Jane herself, I feel like, didn't even care about the mystery.
And she kept being like, somebody's trying to kill me. Oh, well, too bad.
Yeah, well, just keep going on with my life. This is just a coincidence.
Right, yes. Yes, it was not like she was actively like trying to solve this mystery for sure. Yeah, what did you think?
Well, okay, so I totally agree that it is a ripoff of the Siggy Stackhouse thing, but I like this idea of, like the supernatural world has come out of the, shadows or whatever. And it does make for really interesting stories. This one did not happen to be an interesting story. Like there's so much that could have been done. And there were some, I feel like she tried a little bit to make it interesting. Like she talked about like the undead section at Walmart, which was just kind of like a funny thing, but she could have done more.
Yeah, she definitely could have done more.
Yeah.
It is a series, and it's a series following the same person, so it's not like it doesn't follow everyone. And so I wondered if maybe like she's kind of saving stuff for the next one, so she'll have something to write about.
Maybe. I feel like there's even less plot in the next one. We obviously haven't read the next one yet. We've only read the like synopsis of it, but it sounds even less.
Okay, I don't think I read the synopsis.
Oh, okay. I read the synopsis. Doesn't sound like there was very much happening. And then the other thing was that like, so it was both mystery and romance, but I feel like there wasn't really enough of either to make either really compelling, basically.
Yeah. I feel like, right, I totally agree. I feel like the romance was like kind of an afterthought, but the mystery also was kind of an afterthought. So why were we reading this book? It was very confusing.
I agree. It was mostly boring. Yeah. What did you think of Jane herself?
I mean, she was funny and I liked that. I feel like, part of the reason, aside from the main character being named Jane, that we read it is, it was like, it's almost Halloween. And so we wanted to read like kind of like a fun paranormal book. And I feel like we didn't want anything super serious. And so I feel like Molly Harper was like the go-to person for those kind of books. So I did think I like generally found her funny.
Yeah, I definitely found her funnier at the beginning, and then I was like, okay, more of this same thing.
Yes, that's true.
It's definitely got a little repetitive. Also, so Jane is a librarian, or like she loves books, and she was a librarian, and then she gets fired, and that's why she's going on like this drinking bender at the beginning of the book. And so she just led this like super boring life. All she ever wanted to do was like be in the library. And I don't know. She was very boring.
She was kind of boring. I also thought like, so she gets fired and then she just like gives up, I think, on ever working. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'll be trying to. Oops. On ever working in a library again. And I thought that was very sad. Like,
I thought that was very weird. She went and got her master's degree in library science, and then she was like, the only library I'll ever work in is the Half Moon Hollow Library. Right. Why?
It was also never really clear to me why she felt like she should stay in Half Moon Hollow. Like, I feel like if
she
my
clearly
mom
didn't fit in.
Right. And if your mom was like as annoying as her mom was, why would you want to live closer to her when you don't have to? No one's making you live there.
Yeah.
I thought that was very weird.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I don't know why she lived there.
Yes. And at least like apply for other jobs. I don't know. I feel like I feel like she was just, I feel like that was kind of her personality. It was like a little bit of like I don't know. She didn't seem to have like take much like action. Like she never really seemed to take any, like she was very passive, I guess.
Yes, she was very passive.
Which was frustrating, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. What about Gabriel?
I mean, he was basically not in the book.
I feel like her friend was in it more than he was, right?
Yes, exactly. I think they're trying to set up a love triangle situation. I think Gabriel is the Bill, and the other guy, what's his name? Dick Cheney.
Oh.
It was like kind of a funny joke that his name was Dick Cheney.
I feel like it's funny for like one, but then it just keeps going.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think Dick Cheney's supposed to be like the Eric of the situation.
That's so interesting because I was like, Dick Cheney is such a weirdo. Like he seems so gross. I don't know why she's at all interested in being friends with him. Like that's really interesting.
Oh, really?
Yes,
you didn't think there was any tension there whatsoever?
I don't know. I feel like he wore a shirt that said female body inspector. Would you date somebody who wears shirts like that? Just like,
No, I probably wouldn't. But I think he's supposed to be, but he's like still supposed to be very sexy and vampire-y, and like he's the one, he's like the bad boy one, and Gabriel's like the good boy.
and they knew each other when they were alive, which I do feel like seems like what you're saying is probably right. I just like
I just
didn't.
don't know why she would be so like, he's my friend, I need to like have this
Yeah.
relationship with him, if there wasn't ever
Yeah.
gonna be something there.
It does feel obvious now that you're saying that. I just feel like I was just like, when I read it, I was like, I do not know why. Like, I guess they just needed to have more friends. Like, I don't know why she cares about it. Like, it was really unclear to me why she wanted to be friends with him. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess.
okay. Also the other thing, basically like the only thing that we do know about Gabriel is that he exacts revenge on the drunk guy who
Oh,
shoots
yeah.
Jane at the beginning of the book, and Jane finds out about it and is very upset at him for doing this. And so I feel like we're supposed to be like, oh, that was a bad thing that Gabriel did, and maybe we like Dick more because of that.
But maybe he would do the same thing.
He probably would do the same thing.
Also, Jane forgives him almost immediately. Like, she's not even like, I'm gonna stick to like thinking this is not the right thing to do. She just like forgives him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was annoying because it is like, I don't know. I would not be okay with that. But I clearly, Jane and I, if she's gonna fall in love with Dick too, are not the same.
Yeah. That also reminds me that like I feel like almost every vampire story where the main person gets turned into a vampire, there's this like struggle of, do I feed on human blood or do I not? And or like, I'm so thirsty, I can't be around humans or whatever. There's like some conflict, and there wasn't any. She just like, I'll drink it from the bottle, I'll drink it from people's necks, I'll drink it from wherever. I'm not even gonna think about it. It's fine. I have no anxiety over any of this.
Yes. I mean, she did resist drinking from Gabriel at the beginning.
Just because she was unused to it and thought it was gross.
Right. But
not because she was like, I'm going to hurt him or kill him or whatever.
That's true. And she did almost kill her best friend.
Yes, exactly. And she did have some qualms about drinking from Andrea or something. That other
Andrea
woman. Who?
Andrea?
Yeah.
I think that's the audiobook.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Oh, the difference between Andrea and Andrea when it's written.
Yeah. So Gabriel sends this person over to have Jane feed on her. And she's like, I'm not sure if I want to do that. So she has like a 2-second like internal debate about whether or not to do it, and then she does it.
Yeah,
but she doesn't tell us if she's going to continue doing this in the future or not.
I feel like it's part of it is because she just has no like I don't know what the right word, like conviction. She just like just goes along with whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, do we want to say anything more about them or their relationship?
I guess, do you feel like they should be together?
I mean, he really seemed to like her after knowing her for like a night.
That was something that was also really annoying. All he said was, you're so interesting. Like, he literally wouldn't describe her any other way. He would just say interesting every single time. And it's like, what's interesting?
Yeah, she's funny.
I don't get it.
She's
okay, so say that she's funny, she's clever, she's witty, she's whatever. Like, there's other words.
Yep. I feel like they would be fine together. They're both kind of boring, and I think they probably are a good match. What do you think?
They deserve each other.
I like hate them. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I think they should be together too. I honestly don't really care either way. They didn't like make it so compelling for us to want them to be together, and they didn't. Like, I don't care either way.
Yeah,
basically.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about the writing?
It was very funny, especially I feel like I found it especially funny at the beginning. Like, it was very much scratching that itch
Yes.
that you mentioned before of like wanting a supernatural, funny romantic comedy. But it did get kind of like tiresome throughout the book, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. It did make me wonder if we went back and read like the Naked Werewolf series, like would we like it less?
I was wondering that too. I was like, oh, had we just not read good books when we read those ones and now they were really good?
I don't know. It's a very like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's an upsetting thought.
Yeah.
But maybe we should read them instead of, because like I feel like we've recommended them quite a bit.
Yeah, we have recommended them. Yeah. Maybe we should just stop recommending them until
we reread them. But I feel like this book did not make me want to reread them.
Exactly. It didn't make me want to reread them.
So
except for like the curiosity factor of
yeah. But beyond that.
But also I do remember the main character of the first one, she moves from the South to Alaska, and she's kind of like, she's interesting and kind of badass, and
she's much more like assertive than Ina is. And I do feel like there's more emphasis on their relationship.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Is there a mystery at all? The only mystery. Oh, okay. I thought the only mystery was like her finding out that he was a werewolf and he was supposed to keep it a secret or something.
I still feel like there's a mystery.
Okay. I believe you.
But I think there is one.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else about writing?
Is there anything you want to say about writing? I
feel like you summed it up pretty
okay.
I mean, it did make me laugh. It was like I don't know, I listened to it. I did like want to continue listening to it. It wasn't a pain to like finish it.
Yeah.
I was not, I don't know, blown away by how great of a novel it was or something, how well written it was, I guess.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, how much special sauce did it have for you?
Not very much, I would say.
I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it had, like you said at the beginning, I was like, this is a Molly Harper book. I'm really excited. It's so fun. So it did definitely have some special sauce for me, but not enough to like, I don't know, not as much as I wish that it would have.
Yes. I think maybe we just went in with expectations too high. And it didn't reach them.
Maybe, but I feel like my expectations were not like crazy high. I wasn't like, this is going to be the best book I've ever read. And I feel like we tried to read this one before and didn't. I don't remember why.
I think I got the audiobook of this one when we were in college. And I think I tried to read it or listen to it when we were in college. And I only got maybe like a third of the way through, I think. And then I was like, this is boring. I don't want to keep reading.
Thing like 10 years later,
but sometimes you're just not in the mood for, so it could have been good. I did go in with high hopes, and especially like the book starts off so good and so funny that just wasn't able to keep going.
I agree. I do have another unrelated thought.
Okay.
That I remembered while we were talking about this. So I don't know if you remember, at some point in the book they mentioned blood mates. Do you remember this?
Barely.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
I do. Much actually. Like
it's after they have sex, right?
Yeah, it's after they have sex, and when they have sex, he drinks from her and she also drinks from him. Like not prompted, but like she still drinks from him. And then he like casually mentions blood mate, or somebody mentions blood mates, and he's like, "Don't say that." Like, and Gabriel kind of like brushes it off. And I think in one of her other werewolf books, a very similar thing happens where this person unintentionally becomes like mated to this person, or like tied to this person forever without their knowledge. And I feel like that's so concerning and problematic. And I know we didn't get to hear what blood means for, but I am assuming it means something big.
Okay, interesting. I think you're probably right. I think it probably does. It probably is the equivalent of like a werewolf thing. I don't remember finding it that upsetting in the werewolf things because wolves do mate for life. And so like, that's just like a common trope of werewolf romance.
I guess so. Yes, but don't people know this when they're like getting into it, or no?
I don't. It's like Jacob. You can't choose who you imprint on. You know, you just imprint.
Yeah, but I feel like I guess so. But it feels like Jacob imprinted on her, but Renesmee didn't have to be with Jacob if she didn't want to be. Maybe.
Yeah. I think that was true in the werewolf books too.
Okay, interesting. I feel like, I mean, it's been so long since we've read them. I just felt like in the werewolf books, it was like they were stuck, like I thought it mattered like to the woman also that they were mated.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
There was one of the werewolf books, the woman was the werewolf.
Right. And
doesn't she
accidentally mark him or something like that?
Yeah, she does accidentally mark him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to be with her.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels very tricky in a way that you should be more upfront, especially if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But this felt like he very much tricked her, especially because she's also a vampire.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So.
But maybe it's just like a symbolic thing and not
maybe
actual like supernatural link.
Yeah, maybe. I still would like to know about symbolic things that I would definitely want to know these things.
I guess that's true. But if the symbolism doesn't mean anything to you and it only means something to somebody else, then I mean, I guess you're right. I would still want to know, but It's not that big of a deal, I feel like.
Right. I guess it's less big of a deal than it means like she could never be with anyone else or something like that. Or like, but maybe it does. I guess we'd have to read the rest of them to find out.
Which we're probably not gonna do. What
right.
is that?
But maybe I'll read the Goodreads summary of the rest of them.
Yeah, it was disappointing. I don't know. This is 2 different Molly Harper series now that we've tried that we do not enjoy. So, do you feel like we should try other Molly Harper ones, or do you think we should just give up?
I feel like if we try another Molly Harper, we should reread the Naked Werewolf books.
Okay. I don't feel like that counts as like giving.
Okay.
But
I feel like we should
I do agree we should for like for our own curiosity, we should reread the Naked Werewolf.
Yeah. But not really. I mean, the other book that we read was the dragon one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was so bad. It was so bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I agree.
We should not try other Molly Harper books.
Okay.
Okay. Do you disagree or do you?
No, I feel like I'm pretty fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
It is too bad because I feel like we always kind of had that in our back pocket and now we're, taking it out.
I feel like we might have even tried a third Molly Harper series.
I think I read a non-paranormal
that's
like novella or something.
Okay, and it's like takes place in the South or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like this big crazy family that I could not keep any of their names straight. It's like I have no idea who she's talking about. It was very confusing. It did not make me want to read the rest of the like the real.
Yeah.
So
I feel like novellas are hard to do well, at least for me. I feel like, I don't know. But one thing that we should say about all Molly Harper books is that they're all narrated by Amanda Ronconi, who is amazing.
Yeah, she does such a good job.
She's so good.
Yeah, she nails all of the jokes. I feel like she's very funny. And her voice is so distinctive but like weird, I guess. And it's, I don't know, it's very funny.
Yeah. I feel like when I first read, like, I think when we first listened to The Naked Werewolf and she was reading it, I was like a little skeptical at first, but like, she's so good. I feel like not all
grows on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like very quickly. I did not have to like read many books by her to be like, okay. She's she's great.
I agree.
Did this make you want to read Sookie's Stackhouse at all?
A little bit. So, I mean, the thing that came to mind to me was that like the Sookie Stackhouse books are also romance plus mystery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like both the mystery and the romance were done way better. Like there was enough of both that it felt good, or maybe I'm just also misremembering this. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think they were just better, and I feel like that's possible to do. Like I don't feel like Charlene Harris is the only person who has like done a good job of this. Like I think there are plenty of other places that do mystery or plenty of other authors, I mean, that do good like mystery plus romance.
Yeah. And I feel like I don't usually care about the mystery. I feel like you are usually the one that wants to also have some mystery. Like for me, if they just had romance, it would be fine. But with the Sookie Stackhouse books, it was enough romance for me still to want to continue reading them, even though there was also a mystery that was taking up time.
Yeah. I feel like I liked the mystery in the Sookie Stackhouse one. Like I feel like it was compelling, but obviously I also like the romance too, although like Bill is so boring. I don't know. Maybe I just like the mystery better in the Sookie Stackhouse.
Bill isn't boring. Bill, okay. I mean, we don't have to do like a full review of the first Sookie Stackhouse book, but like the first intro to Bill, he is like still like a dangerous bad boy vampire, you know? And then you're introduced to Eric and you're like, oh, now I see, you know?
I mean, it's been a long time since we've read them, obviously. I really don't. I mean, I guess I probably did not think Bill was so super boring in the first one.
Yeah, he only just gets boring later.
But I do feel like Sookie Stackhouse is something that I don't generally like, but it does it really well, where it like has a romance series following just one person that I remain invested in. Like I feel like it's hard for me to like stay invested in books like that.
Yeah, totally. We prefer the series that it's like each book follows a different couple.
Yeah.
That are related to the other couples. Yeah.
That
way you get a whole new romance every time.
Right. And you get like the whole story. It's not just, but I mean, I don't know. Sookie Stackhouse, I mean, it goes off the rails, obviously, towards the end.
Yes. Do not read then the last few books of those.
But it does, like, you do get a bunch of, it's not just like one romance, right? It's not like she's like just only interested in Bill.
Right.
Yeah, but I guess we shouldn't spoil all of Sookie Stackhouse right now. Or maybe we should. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. No, I think that's enough Sookie Stackhouse talk. Is there anything else we want to say about Jane Jameson?
Did you want to read us any of your quotes?
Sure, I can read some quotes. I'm slightly worried I'm going to ruin them. Okay, so the first
Amanda Ronconi, read them.
Yeah, maybe we could. Okay, so the first one that I have highlighted is, what's a vampire pet? I asked, suddenly overwhelmed by a vision of humans on giant hamster wheels. Let's see. The next one that's funny that I have is, you have to admire a woman who exacts revenge through handicrafts, which I thought was a funny line. Okay, another funny line that I liked was, the thought of never having children hadn't occurred to me yet. It was still one of those things in far off Sunday land after I got married and learned how crockpots worked. I agree. How do crockpots work?
You have to get married to find out.
Yeah, apparently. Okay, I think that's probably enough of me reading quotes. But
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say beyond that, but there are definitely some funny lines.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to add, or should we do currently reading? Okay, what are you reading right now?
So I'm kind of in a romance slump since this Jane Jameson book, actually.
Why?
So I'm reading nonfiction right now. I'm reading The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss, which has a lot of interesting information in it, but would not recommend listening to all of it.
Can you tell us like one tip that we should all implement in our
life? I don't know that I would necessarily follow like any of his tips. Okay. But his kind of like life philosophy that he talks about, especially in the first chapter, I personally really resonate with, which is basically like, I like a lot of people feel like life is about working for 40 years and then you finally get to live your life once you retire. And he's basically like, why would we do that? Let's basically like have mini retirements throughout our lives and don't just like live your life waiting for this someday. Live your life like someday is now, and make it so that someday can be now. And I don't know, did I explain that well?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting like what I've heard about it is it's very like, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out the right way to put it. Like, it feels like you have to have a lot of money to live the way that it sounds like he's suggesting. I don't know if that's really true.
So he's basically saying like, take the time to figure out what you really want to do. Take the time, like, here's a formula to figure out how much money that would cost you to do that. And then here's like a way to get you to get that much money. But it's not like, it's not like,
okay,
just like work and become a millionaire and then like, and then never work again, basically.
Okay. I like that better than I feel like some of the other things that I've read, which were like, I feel like that's the part that seems hard about like retire at 35 or whatever, right? It's like, how do you really realistically make enough money before you're 35 or whatever?
Yeah. He's actually against that. He doesn't think, I don't know, at least he says he's against that in this book. He's like, you shouldn't just retire when you're 35. You should like just spend your life doing the things that you want to do and not let money dictate what you're doing all the time. Like, sometimes it can, but sometimes you shouldn't. But yeah, I mean, it's like, what are you going to do with the rest of your life if you retire at 35? Right.
Yes, that is a question that I have wondered. I feel like I would go insane.
Yeah, but it's basically like, take the time to figure out what you actually do want to do and don't just continue working in a job that you don't care about for the hopefully someday retiring when you're 65 and possibly too old to enjoy the things that you want to be doing.
I feel like that makes sense. Like, I like thinking about now, like, what are the things that you can do to make your life more enjoyable? And I feel like it's also kind of like the working to live instead of living to work. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that definitely resonates with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
We'll see how much I actually like implement from
I'm going to be very curious to hear how much you do. Also, I hope that you can just tell me the things that are the highlights instead of me having to.
Sure, I will try.
I am not in a romance rut. All I'm reading is romance. So I'm reading 2 books right now, but I guess I'm reading Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman because it's Halloween almost again. I'm trying again. So we'll see. It's under 300 pages, so it feels doable.
Yeah. But that one's definitely like the opposite of Molly Harper. That one's like dark, right? Isn't it?
I mean, I thought it was going to be aimed at, because it's under 300 pages. It starts off with 2 girls who are twins. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like a teen, like they're like, I thought they were going to be like children throughout the book, but they aren't.
So you've never even seen the movie?
I don't think so. I didn't
my
even know
God.
there was a movie until I Googled the book and but
Okay,
like
well,
one
the
of
movie is definitely dark.
yeah, I mean I don't know. This is like yeah. On like the third page or something it said the F word and I was like, well, I feel like if this was a book about like 10-year-olds, it probably wouldn't like and then now I think she's an adult, but I just got to that. I'm like 10% in max. So reading that, and I'm reading You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogel, which is the one where they're engaged but they hate each other. I don't know how you end up in that situation.
Yeah, does she make it make any sense? Because it literally doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, so far, it sounds like at one point they did like each other. So basically the beginning is like they just like there's like a chapter of them like meeting and like it's like their second date or something like that. And so she clearly likes him then, and then they get engaged they've only been together 2 years also, which I feel like is a really short period of time to trap yourself into like a loveless marriage for the rest of your life, maybe. But not
how many years in is okay to trap yourself into a loveless marriage?
I just feel like if you're together for like 2 years, it doesn't seem that hard to just break up.
Yes.
Whereas if you're together for like 15 years, I could see how it would be hard to be like, okay, like
right.
I need to.
Okay, so why don't they just break up?
Well, so the reason they don't just, I think, is like because they have like his parents have spent a ton of money on this wedding, so they feel like they have to.
Okay, but why did they break up before the spending of the money on the wedding?
So this is the other part is that I think part of the reason that they don't like each other anymore is because his mom has like taken control over their wedding and he's just like let her do it. And so I think I can't remember either of their names, but I think I think one of them is no, I don't remember. It's definitely trying to be the hating game, though. I will say that it's like really wants to be the hating game. But whatever the like woman, I feel like he has like let his mom take over, and so I feel like she is resentful that he's let his mom take. I think they kind of like crept up on them is the idea, right? Where his mom a few decisions and she was like okay, but now she's just making all of the decisions and he's not saying anything, but they've like committed all this money and so she doesn't want to be the one to back out. And he doesn't want to back out. This is like letting his parents down and also all this money that they spent. And so it just kind of like snowballed, I think is what I'm supposed to feel. Are you going to read it? Do you think you'll read it?
I don't know.
Okay, well, can I just say this other part that's weird in case
sure,
you don't?
Yeah.
So he like meets, so she like works at a place, like it's kind of like an antique-y, like it's called the junkyard, like kind of like a place where you buy junk, but not like an actual junkyard, like a store. And she has this like group of coworkers and they just like all hate her. I really wish I could remember his. I want to say Josh, but I think Josh.
That would be too crazy if she named her characters the exact same name.
Can't be Josh. Oh, Nick. His name is Nick.
Okay, great.
Still don't remember her name, but so she has like this group of coworkers and they all just like are, or at least one of them is like very rude to her boyfriend and like very obviously like hates him. And I was like, oh, if I didn't know the plot of this book, I would assume that she ends up with this other guy, but she doesn't because I know the plot of the book, or at least I assume she does. It would be shocking at this point if she did, because they've barely interacted since. But I was like, it felt like that's where they were leading me, which was interesting.
Yeah, okay. This is not making me want to read this book, I have to say. I'm very skeptical of the premise, and I'm very, I don't know. I like the idea of a book like The Hating Game, obviously, but I'm just so skeptical of this one. I think I will decide if I'm going to read it based on what you say once you finish it. I'm sorry. Well, I definitely am not going to listen to it now. Like, I just can't bring myself to start listening to it right now. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I mean, I'm invested. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to read it for sure.
Should we mention what we're doing next for our next books?
Yeah. Sure.
We are selecting books for each other to read, which I'm very excited about. And Amy could theoretically select this book that I just said that I wasn't going to read if she wants. I wouldn't personally waste my pick on that. But
yeah, I don't think I will. And I think we're filming this, but I think by the time we post this, we will have announced them.
Okay, great. Well, so we're announcing them again.
Or no, I mean, we'll have already picked by the time this video is posted.
Okay. Well, do we? Okay. Did you not pick yours, or do you not?
No, I do know mine.
Okay. I think we can announce them.
Okay. Well, you go first.
Okay. I'm picking After by Anna Todd. Because we all need more fan fiction turned real novels in our lives, I feel.
Pages is After?
A lot of pages. But just listen to the audiobook. We have the audiobook.
Okay. I feel like I should get 2 books.
Okay, you can have 2. You can have the equivalent number of pages.
Okay. I'm gonna look up how many pages it is.
Okay.
But the book I picked is Vision in White by Nora Roberts, which is part of their 4 books. And I thought they were really fun. I've been telling you literally for years to read them, and you
have. I know.
I'll look up page counts. I don't. It's really hard to imagine I'm gonna enjoy After. It's 582 pages.
Okay.
And Vision in White is 325. That's like a whole nother book.
So you can pick like a novella if you want.
No. I think I could make you read like Practical Magic. All right, I will think on it.
Okay, yeah. But After, I've definitely mentioned this to you before, but there's basically a big twist at the end and a big cliffhanger at the end of the first book. And so I'm curious if you will find the cliffhanger as scandalous as I found the cliffhanger, and if you're going to read all the rest of the books because of
I feel like I'm gonna be so annoyed at you if you make me read how many are there? 4?
Well, there's 4, I think. If you read the first one and you're like, I do not care, I refuse to read any of these other ones, I promise I will shut up about them forever and I will never make you read any more of them.
Okay. Have you watched the movies?
I watched the movie.
Okay.
But the second one I think did come out during quarantine, but in theaters, and I was like, I'm not going to a fucking theater watch this movie. I'll wait until it's on Netflix. So I haven't watched the second movie yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm very curious.
Okay.
Very curious.
I'm also curious.
Okay, but I want you to go into it with an open mind. I don't want you to go into it with I'm definitely gonna hate this.
I'm not gonna go into it with I'm gonna hate this, but I do feel like books based on fan fiction are just. I'm always a little skeptical.
That's fair. Don't go into it with high expectations for sure. Definitely don't do that. But yeah, I'm excited for you to read it.
Okay. I'll let you know. I'm curious to see what the deal is.
Yeah. Exactly. And then, now we can once we both read it, we can both be part of the conversation because people are talking about this book constantly. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you can watch the movie. We can watch the movies together.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Sounds great. Our new Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, great. Anything else we want to talk about? All right.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.